Every morning, most people wake up and they react to this thing. They grab their phone and scroll social media and check emails before they even stand up and get out of bed, and they've already lost the day. And it's not because they're lazy, it's because no one has ever taught them what to say to themselves first. And so if you want to win the day, not someday, not next year, but today, it starts with the conversations you have with yourself before the world even speaks to you. And so there are 5 simple things that I tell myself every single morning that takes me less than 2 minutes that help me go from stressed, overwhelmed, and struggling to running an 8-figure business with over 20 full-time staff and raising a family of 3. Now, I get to wake up on purpose, and I want to show you on how you can do it too. So in this video here, I'm going to share with you these 5 things with you, not cheesy affirmations, not 20 hours of meditating, just real statements that reprogram your focus and rebuild your confidence and remind you of who you really are. So if you're ready to stop reacting to life and start directing it, let's begin with these 5 things. So first thing I say when I wake up to myself is I open my eyes and I look around the room and I say, damn, I am so lucky. And I sincerely mean that, because the fact that I'm awake tells me that I'm lucky. And I look at my wife. Sometimes if our little 4-year-old has come into bed and cuddled us, I look at her and I look at them sleep, because I wake up the earliest in the family, and there's just something beautiful about seeing your little child sleep. And there's something beautiful about having the pillow rub over your neck. There's something beautiful about having the blanket there. Something beautiful about waking up and the sun's just beaming through the curtains. And that to me is precious. And so I always start the day with saying how lucky I am, because you can always find gratitude if you're alive. And so always start the day with gratitude, not goals. Once you start with goals, you'll be backwards and you'll be overwhelmed immediately. Start the day with gratitude. The second thing I say to myself is this, and this will change your life, especially if you're a mum, is I say, what do I get to do today? What do I get to do today? That's ultra important. Not what do I have to do, what do I get to do? Because this transforms your mindset from going from obligation to opportunity. The number one reason why you may be overwhelmed is because you're repeating the dialogue in your mind of you have to. I have to take the kids to school. I have to make them lunch. I have to pick them up. I have to clean after them. I have to bathe them. I have to make dinner for them. I have to get them to bed. I have to chat today. I have to post content. I have to run an event. I have to get back to my team. I have to reply to those comments. I have to respond to the email. I have to get there on time. I have to. And that whole dialogue in your mind will destroy not just your day, not just your life, but all of your relationships. Why? Because that is living in an effect mentality, in a victim mentality. And I say that from a place of love, because I used to be like this. I used to wake up and say, what do I have to go to work? I used to be an optometrist for 10 years, and I didn't like optometry. And I used to wake up saying, I have to go to work today, without realizing that I get to serve people today. I get to test 20 patients today. I get to give them better glasses they can see better. I get to solve their myopia. I get to prescribe medications that will actually help their vision and prevent them from going blind. I help to diagnose eye conditions way before the ophthalmologist can, so that they can save their vision and have a gratitude life and be fruitful for the rest of their lives. I get to do all those things. The moment I change my language to what do I get to do today, everything changed. For example, today I get to go on social media and see how well my last post performed. I get to do that. I get to post another post today, and even if I get 1 view or 1 like, at least I get to do it on a free platform, and that one person got impact from it. I get to start a conversation today. I get to post content. I get to write a story. I get to go and do a masterclass or do a training or do a tiny challenge for my students. I get to support the people that maybe are complaining right now, because every complaint in your business is an opportunity to turn that complainer into a raving fan. You get to do all of this. And if you're a parent, particularly if you're a mum, you get to make your kids lunch. You get to pick them up from school. You get to make them dinner. You get to bathe them. Like, you know how many parents are dying to have kids and they cannot for whatever reason? And the fact that you got children, you get to, like, I know so many of my friends, and I didn't realize that having kids was so hard until a lot of my friends could not get pregnant. And we're lucky that we got 3 beautiful girls, and pretty much every single time when we tried, Penny got pregnant straight away. And I thought that was just normal until a lot of our friends started trying for babies the same time as we did. And they're having so much difficulty, and they have to go through IVF, or they have to go through other means. And some of them just realize that they cannot have children, and they would die to make a kid's lunch. They would die to pick up the kids from school. They would die to opportunity to just bathe them and look at them in the eye and just be filled with love and gratitude. You get to do all those things. You get to discipline your kids. You get to take them on holidays. You get to yell at them saying, kids, go to sleep. It is 8:30 p.m. and it's late. You get to do all those things. You get to learn with them. You get to grow with them. You get to wake up starting the day saying, you get to do this. What do I get to do today? Even if it's one client, even if you have no clients, I get to build my dreams today. I get to move one step closer to my dreams. If you're running a coaching business and you're just starting out and you feel the stress and overwhelm and imposter, you know what? I get to become better today. I get to learn something new today. I get to do better than I did yesterday, and yesterday's content only got 10 views. Today, I get to challenge myself and try to get 15 views. When you ask yourself, what do I get to do today? That changes everything. The next thing I say to myself, number 3, is this. Write this down. Messy is sexy. I've got 3 young kids, and I've got this daddy box. And you know what? Actually, let me get the daddy box and show you exactly what it is. So in this daddy box, I've got all my kids' drawings, like just this, laminated drawings, just like we're gonna have, and I write down the dates all from the moment they're born, and they bring home things, and I put it in my, like, look at this laminated ice cream. And it's messy, it's fun, it's cute, it's endearing. And I keep these things partly because I'm sentimental, yes, but it's a reminder that messy is sexy. And that is so endearing because it's real, it's genuine, it's authentic. And why do I say that? Because once I look at my day and I think about, okay, I'm so lucky, what do I get to do today? It can be very easy for me to turn opportunity into obligations and start to feel overwhelmed. And like, oh my gosh, and there's so many things I need to do. And then perfectionism can get in the way. And so I say to myself, messy is sexy because I just need to start, because getting it done is better than getting it perfect. And just getting it done messy is the most endearing thing that you can do. And most people, like, even if you're just starting out and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what content to write, or I don't know what to say in the video. Do you know what? Messy is sexy. Getting it done is better than getting it perfect. And if my kids tried to ever get this perfect, it wouldn't look as nice and it just wouldn't be as endearing. And there's so much power in this of just messy is sexy. And being an optometrist for 10 years, everything had to be perfect. Everything had to be precise. And I was taught in that world that you cannot make a mistake. And I soon realized that in the creative coaching entrepreneurial space, you're encouraged to make mistakes. You're encouraged to fail. You're encouraged to do better. You're encouraged to grow. You're encouraged to try new things and innovate. And without the mindset of messy is sexy, then I'm never, ever going to start. And so there's something endearing about it. Write it down. Messy is sexy. Here is number 4. Similar to messy is sexy, it's this: connection over perfection. And this is a particularly important one, especially if you're in the coaching expert space and you're a creator and you're either doing shorts, lives, videos, content, or you're prospecting and you're getting people on the phone, or maybe you're doing a challenge or a tiny challenge or one-on-one call and you're just starting out, you don't have any experience and you want things to be perfect, you want a script there, you want a framework, but the reality is if you try to be perfect, you lose connection, because with perfection does not come connection. And if you seek out connection, perfection doesn't matter, because people buy presence, they don't buy perfection. And your role as a creator, as a coach, is to connect with your ideal clients, not to be perfect. And connecting means having those real conversations, being raw, being authentic, just being your true self, listening to them, being present, being being infectiously or relentlessly present in what they're saying and writing it down and just hearing them and just being there. And when you can connect on that deep level, no one needs to be perfect. You can say ums, you can say ahs, you can make mistakes. You're allowed to do that because you're a human being. But when you connect, that's what people are buying, because anytime you've seen a presentation that's tried to be perfect or it's too polished, it doesn't, you don't know what's wrong with it. It just doesn't feel right. But when you see a presentation that's just, they're just being themselves, and there might be a tech mishap, it doesn't matter. Something may not go perfect, but they're just connecting with you and they're seeing you, that'll change the game. And the more you can strive for connection over perfection with your ideal clients, whether you're chatting to them over DM or you're connecting with them over a story or you're actually chatting to them via phone or WhatsApp or email, whatever, when you can connect with them, they're going to feel something that no one else has ever given them. And that's a real relationship. And that's number 4. And that leads me to the final thing. Then I say this, let's go. And I'll go. And then let's go sometimes means getting out of bed and going down to my office and starting working. Let's go may mean, okay, now I can check what I have on today. Now I can check, okay, what do I need to do? Now I can check my schedule. Now I can check my calendar. Now I can check my priorities. Now I can check if there's anything urgent coming up. But before I've even done that, within the first 2 minutes of the day, I've woken up and I look around the room and I say, how lucky am I? I'm so lucky to be here. Then I ask myself, what do I get to do today? I get to take my kids to school. I get to run a masterclass training. I get to do a tiny challenge. I get to shoot this video. And then I say, okay, messy is sexy. Connection over perfection. Let's go. And if you said all these 5 things to yourself every single morning, you wouldn't just win the day, you'd change the way you see yourself, because success doesn't start with strategy, it starts with your state. Guys, I trust this was valuable. If so, keep believing and never settle.